So here's what went down when those rumors started flying about Jake Paul supposedly getting arrested for scripting boxing matches. Joe Rogan's reaction was absolutely explosive, and he's definitely not mincing words about any of this. Rogan stepped forward with this incredibly urgent message, making it crystal clear that no achievement, regardless of how impressive or profitable it might appear, justifies risking your actual existence. We're dealing with legitimate concrete threats here, not some hypothetical situation. He's been pounding this message home that the risks waiting in that boxing ring are devastatingly genuine and should never be taken lightly or brushed off like they couldn't affect you. From what's been reported throughout the combat sports world, Rogan is completely convinced that Paul needs to seriously think through his choices and the direction he's heading before he considers entering that ring one more time. The brutal truth is that chasing celebrity status or financial rewards through these extremely dangerous matches, particularly ones that could be fixed or choreographed in hazardous ways, simply isn't worth the potential fallout that might haunt you forever or eliminate your future completely. And then something happened. Rogan really hammered his point home, stressing with this unfiltered passion that boxing represents an incredibly dangerous pursuit fundamentally, and persisting with fights in this careless way might legitimately result in devastating life-changing outcomes that are completely irreversible. But wait, there's more intensity coming. He delivered this blunt reality check that getting involved in criminal behavior or taking part in fixed matches might expose you to legitimate criminal prosecution against the competitor in question. We're not simply discussing damage to your reputation at this point. We're discussing real criminal ramifications that might completely destroy everything you've worked for. Rogan's message has been totally unambiguous about this reality and completely transparent. Existence is genuine, that impact is genuine, the harm is genuine, and there's no do-over button when things go disastrously wrong inside that ring. Now this is where the situation takes a turn, because Nikisa Badarian came forward and has publicly confirmed that Jake Paul and his entire organization participated in zero misconduct and made no efforts of any kind to manipulate the contest in any manner. He specifically responded to these massive rumors that have been completely taking over every social media platform. These allegations claiming that the match against Anthony Joshua was somehow fixed or arranged ahead of time, he's declaring them totally baseless and without any foundation. Based on Nikisa's comprehensive response, internet users have been spreading these truly incredible allegations and seriously outrageous accusations that appear to have grown beyond all control, including this specific viral post claiming there was some sort of hidden deal for Joshua to avoid knocking out Paul. He explained thoroughly that Joshua competed honestly, genuinely, and effectively throughout each and every round, completely ignoring any supposed arrangement that these theorists continue promoting. Nikisa stressed with total certainty that Jake prepared intensively, fought with complete dedication, and faced completely genuine danger every second he spent in that ring against a truly elite level competitor. He made it perfectly clear that criminal proceedings are currently underway against certain people who are promoting these provably incorrect stories online. For Nikisa putting out this statement, it's totally essential to defend the well-deserved credibility of Jake and his whole organization, making it crystal clear to supporters, doubters, and questioners that the match was genuinely authentic and completely improvised, and any suggestion of a rigged result or planned outcome is completely unfounded and based purely on guesswork and conspiratorial beliefs. Alright, Eddie, expanding on those points, we should discuss what Joe Rogan has directly communicated to Jake Paul, because he's issued this extremely serious message advising Jake to avoid doing anything even remotely dangerous, like this in the future. Rogan urgently advised him to genuinely think twice about accepting these dangerous boxing contests that expose him to real harm, stressing with this overwhelming force that no professional achievement, regardless of how spectacular it appears or how much revenue it generates, justifies putting your life at risk. Rogan has been repeatedly emphasizing that the threats present in the ring are extremely genuine. We're discussing severe head trauma, lasting impairment, possibly deadly results, and engaging in fake contests or facing dangerous challengers simply for recognition or money might result in devastating permanent damage that goes way beyond one terrible evening. The point is completely obvious. Personal safety and individual accountability must be the top priority for every fighter, regardless of their fame or online presence. Matthew Stern, however, offered this genuinely insightful and comprehensive breakdown of the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul contest, taking time to emphasize the remarkably strategic preparation and tactical approach that influenced every planned action inside that ring. He described extensively that the match developed exactly as planned through a carefully developed approach, with Joshua's corner making the intentional choice to focus on patience and precisely managing intensity instead of launching wild, reckless attacks that could create vulnerabilities. The complete strategy from day one was to systematically test Jake Paul's capabilities, methodically revealing his shortcomings and pushing his endurance and physical preparation before landing those finishing, devastating blows at precisely the perfect timing. Stern stressed that this deliberate, strategic approach represents what genuine professional boxing actually means at the elite level, where sustained achievement depends significantly on self-control, flawless timing, and strategic implementation, instead of depending entirely on brute force and crossing your fingers. Each phase of the contest, based on his evaluation, was strategically designed to keep total command of rhythm and angles, while slowly and systematically establishing superiority throughout the round. This strategy proves how intelligent planning, preparation, and ring awareness frequently triumph over pure physical power in deciding results. Based on Stern's professional evaluation, this method didn't simply guarantee victory strategically. It also perfectly demonstrated the genuine beauty of boxing as this precise, smart competition where controlled performance and strategic choices define legends and distinguish veteran, skilled fighters from comparative beginners who are still mastering the fundamentals. Adam Ketterall entered the discussion and delivered this completely honest and direct evaluation of the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul contest, and he absolutely didn't hold anything back in his commentary. He highlighted the major imbalance that contemporary boxing is experiencing, where fame and online followers increasingly determine major fights instead of genuine ability and competitive excellence. Ketterall maintained quite persuasively that Jake Paul's meteoric climb in professional boxing comes much more from his enormous online presence and celebrity reputation than from any real technical ability or substantial experience inside the ring against credible competition. Based on Ketterall's thorough analysis, even though Anthony Joshua was intentionally and deliberately limiting his complete power and restraining his most crushing attacks, he still demonstrated this truly incredible discipline, flawless timing, and precise accuracy during the contest, connecting with strikes that inflicted genuine harm and revealed just how enormous the difference in talent really was between these competitors. This obvious and unmistakable difference generated widespread rumors that particular elements of the contest might have been affected or controlled by outside influences and business factors instead of purely athletic considerations and competitive honesty. Stories spread extensively throughout boxing circles that Jake Paul allegedly tried to control or manipulate the tempo and rhythm of the fight to reduce his own danger and preserve positive optics for his image, highlighting these wider worries about how celebrity boxing increasingly focuses on show business and entertainment instead of legitimacy and real competition. Ketterall's insights truly highlight how these contemporary publicity-focused contests can fundamentally compromise competitive authenticity, putting all emphasis and spotlight on entertainment factor and commercial appeal instead of genuine talent, strategic complexity, and the core principles that have historically represented professional boxing at the highest level. Sam Jones delivered this truly honest and totally raw response to the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul contest that really reflects what many serious boxing enthusiasts were feeling, pointing out that the match was truly hard to watch from beginning to end, and not because we were seeing these intense back-and-forth battles that keep you glued to your seat. Instead, it was uncomfortable because of the obvious technical shortcomings that were constantly visible during the whole fight. He highlighted in clear language that Jake Paul had major difficulties with basic elements of boxing that any legitimate professional should have perfected long ago, including essential defensive skills like correct head movement, keeping a strong guard, performing proper footwork and positioning, and responding appropriately to Joshua's attacks when they landed. These constant errors and technical failures generated this ongoing feeling of mismatch during the whole contest, repeatedly showing the totally obvious difference in experience, ability, and ring intelligence between these fighters. People and experts observing carefully noticed that certain moments in the contest seemed almost planned or practiced, as though the action had been quietly directed or controlled to keep both fighters from serious danger or getting into situations that could cause major trouble. Though Jake Paul certainly invested considerable training hours and effort getting ready for this match, and his commitment isn't in question, Jones indicated that the clear mismatch in natural ability and ring smarts along with these supposed signs of managed pacing and planned sequences led to this experience that felt truly awkward and disturbing for viewers expecting real competitive excitement and legitimate sporting action. The contest really highlighted the fundamental problems of combining celebrity status and social media fame with professional boxing, showing in clear terms how entertainment and spectacle can completely replace genuine skill and legitimacy, making devoted fans doubt the authenticity of these events, where performance and show business meet. So obviously and clearly, Chael Sonnen expressed some genuinely harsh disapproval about this whole fight, emphasizing with real worry that contests like this are way too dangerous to happen under what anyone would call standard competitive conditions in boxing. He characterized the match in these really striking words as seeming less like a genuine, authentic boxing match between athletes testing their abilities and more like this frantic fight for survival where both the physical dangers and reputation risks were extremely, almost irresponsibly elevated for everyone participating. Sonnen emphasized with genuine alarm that when inexperienced competitors choose to face elite professionals who've dedicated years mastering their skills, they're exposing themselves to truly deadly scenarios that might cause lasting damage or death. The alleged scripting participation by Jake Paul, combined with these tremendously dangerous fights that shouldn't be approved initially, really increases and worsens the problems we're witnessing throughout celebrity boxing. From Sonnen's viewpoint, this expanding trend of mixing celebrity status and online influence with serious professional athletics brings significant dangers, not only for the credibility and respect of boxing as an authentic athletic sport, but also for needlessly putting participants at risk in ways that earlier generations of fighters would never have accepted. Experts and boxing professionals watching the contest observed that Jake Paul's strategy during the match seemed strangely careful at specific crucial points, which generated all kinds of doubts about his real goals and what was actually occurring inside there. While some interpreted this careful method as just a reasonable, intelligent approach for someone competing far beyond their real skill level, other watchers and critics suggested that specific moments and exchanges appeared almost rehearsed or predetermined, created specifically to let Joshua control and dominate the fight without putting either competitor in serious danger or generating a scenario that could get completely out of hand. This understanding apparently matches fairly well with those ongoing stories that Paul tried to affect and control the timing in particular moments of the contest to shield himself from major injury while also maximizing the show value for the huge crowd watching. These fighters weren't participating in what most would consider a genuine boxing contest in the classic meaning. That wraps up today's content, and honestly we discussed so much here, covering this disputed fight and all the controversy around it. Keep watching for next time, because there's definitely going to be more updates in this saga.